We can do this. We are strong, capable podcasting women.
I have no doubt we can do this. My question is, can we record this?
I mean, it's red and it's counting up. So
it's gotta be a good sign.
We've done all we can.
All right, it's a free-for-all from here on out.
Welcome to RV Small Talk, where we talk about lightweight trailers, truck campers, and the people, places, and things that go along with them. We are your hosts from Princess Craft RV. I'm Lindsay.
And I'm PJ.
And we really miss Clint.
That's right. We are here at uCamp having a ton of fun and recording a podcast. So we invited all of the ambassadors for nüCamp to join us. And I'm so excited. We are sitting inside a metal building during a rainstorm, trying to figure out how to work the equipment.
Yeah, sorry, Clint.
How we doing, Lindsay?
I don't know, but numbers are going.
All right. So welcome to the podcast. Thanks for joining us.
So for those who don't know, uCamp is an event, a rally of sorts that nüCamp puts on for anybody who has a nüCamp trailer. So that's tags, Tab 320s, Tab 400s, Cirrus truck campers. What am I missing?
Well, there's some obvious out there.
There's some obvious. Oh, some Tadas. There's two Tadas here.
There's two Tadas here. Now, Tadas were never made by nüCamp, but they were made by Dutchman, who was bought by Thor, who, that was kind of like part of the Tab line back then. So they're part of the family, of course.
Am I the only one that when I see a Tada, I have to say, ta-da?
No, you're not the only one. I have to curtsy a little bit.
Silver Shadow.
Is there a Silver Shadow here? I don't know, maybe.
Kendrick's over there mouthing things.
Well, if there is a Silver Shadow out there, welcome. We love it.
Okay,
we love all things teardrop, right? Right.
So first up into the gauntlet is Andrew.
Andrew, you're first. Sorry.
Yeah, it's all right. I'll take it.
Okay.
Andrew is living in a tag?
Almost. I'm trying to convince the wife to go full time.
How's that going?
Wait. This is a new wife, though, right?
It is. Yeah, we were married last October. Yes.
And I heard they had a honeymoon in the tag.
100%. We lived 30 days out of our tag and traveled across the West.
And that didn't convince her?
I think we're really close. And then bringing her here to uCamp, I think that's going to tip it in my favor. So hopefully we'll see on the road soon.
Or not.
That's true.
It only rained for a second. I think he's good.
I'll keep you posted.
How fun. So, okay, I want to start with what is a nüCamp ambassador? Like you're a content creator, you have a YouTube page.
Right.
You just kind of share what it's like to be in a tag?
Yeah, essentially, I've been creating videos since I was a kid. Anything from weird creative basketball shots to tutorials on how to review a book. And over time, it just ended up continuing and just becoming a part of my life. And nüCamp was like, yo, this is pretty cool. How about you create some videos of all of your adventures as you're going around and exploring the country in your tag?
So how did that video creation go towards camping? Like they just kind of naturally merged together?
Yeah, so eventually it did end up leading more to travel. So I lived in Ireland for a year and started vlogging that adventure because I wanted to remember it, all those experiences. And then it slowly shifted more into getting into camping and then being a part of nüCamp. And yeah, it's been a blast.
So I feel like there's been a lot, especially in the past year or two, of people vlogging about adventures and travel and campers and trailers. So what do you do to make yourself different or noticeable?
So I kind of copied my favorite vlogger and took some of the notes from his styles. Casey Neistat, he's been the vlogger on YouTube for the longest time. Thought he was the coolest dude. And when I started vlogging, I was horrible. I wore the big sunglasses inside because he thought that was cool. So it was a rough start, but eventually...
we get the rough start.
Yes. Yeah.
I get the sunglasses.
Looking cool.
Yeah.
But so eventually I started learning what was going on, how to do it the right way. And now my specific niche is just getting more personal and sharing the ups and the downs of travel, living life on the road, getting married.
I was about to say, being a newlywed.
Exactly.
Is a whole angle you could take there.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm confused. So how long have you been an ambassador?
So actually, we started becoming an ambassador like right as we got married so that we could use and explore with our tag on the honeymoon. So that was kind of the selling point.
Okay, a selling point for getting married, a selling point for being an ambassador. How does, I mean, here's
Sure.
what's selling what here? The question that I have really is that we usually find, especially with people who do a little bit of extreme style camping, like in a tag,
Sure.
that somebody is more for it than the other.
Sure. Yes. I was absolutely more into the vibe first.
Okay.
Because Rachel didn't really know about the whole nüCamp vibe and going full time out of a teardrop camper. So I kind of introduced her to that world.
It's not about the vibe. I'm just telling you, it's a tiny camper.
Yes, it is. It really is. So after spending
the problem here.
spending 30 days with your brand new wife on the road in a tag, it is an adventure.
You're still married. I'm so happy for you.
We made it through. We made it through.
But did you actually cover in your videos and in your comments the downs of the first 30 days?
Yeah, so we went over, of course, all the fun, cool adventure stuff. We did talk about, well, we're in this tiny space. We're brand new to this whole camping world, especially being in such a small camper like a tag and going through, hey, we're newlyweds, figuring each other out, as well as the adventures that were going on, some of the things we had to figure out with how to use the camper the right way. Yeah, absolutely. It was all part of the adventure.
As Lindsay very nicely says, you crazy.
It was one crazy adventure. Yes.
Crazy.
Indeed.
Okay, well, what's changed since you started? I mean, do you have this? Do you have
heartwarming,
wonderful
Do you
relationship?
smell more? Oh wait, we have different questions.
Is showering an issue? I don't know. What unexpected came up?
We learned a lot about each other along the way. And I think it sped up the learning about your significant other.
Oh, of course.
Oh, yes. We learned very quickly the
Up
nuances.
close and personal.
Yes. So we figured out how to manage the shower schedule because we have an outdoor shower. So we utilize that a lot because we boondocked along the way.
Nice.
And the ability to not shower every single day. You kind of learn how that works, especially because you are the newlywed. You still want to make sure that you are trying to impress them, at least look good in their eyes and all of that.
Yes.
So yeah, it was
Not
kind of
look
fun
like
to
a
figure that
slob.
out.
Do you step
Right.
out of the camper to fart?
We did originally start doing that, but now, yes.
Now
it's all
you're just way
inside. Yeah,
past
windows
it.
closed. Yep, it's fine. Yep.
Windows closed, you animal.
Under the covers.
Right.
The under the cover fart.
I think that's true
got
love.
that.
Yep, that's how you know you found the right person.
Oh, that is
Oh
too
my
funny.
goodness. So what's next? What's your next adventure, your next trip, your next video?
Yeah, so we are planning a similar type of route of what we did out west. So we did a whole big loop of the west for 30 days for our honeymoon. And now we're trying to do the same thing for the east, take a month and explore the eastern loop and all of that. So we're looking forward to that one. Hopefully late summer is the game plan.
And then are you going to talk her into a bigger trailer? Or is she going to talk you into it?
I think we both love the tag right now, so we're pumped to be in that. However, she is very excited to start our young family. So at some point, I'm sure we will be looking up maybe one of the tabs might be in the future once we start having the kiddos.
Oh God, a kid is not. Yeah, you're not gonna no tag with kids.
2 grown-ups and a baby in a tab is still quite a tight space. So keep us
Quite a
posted.
tight
We will.
space.
We certainly will.
Well, yeah.
I think that's an understatement. That's impossible.
It can't be impossible.
It's impossible.
Andrew's going to do it.
That's right. As a
And he's
start 'em
going to
young.
tell us about it.
Yeah, I will. Start them
Yeah.
young. Exactly. Then we'll
Learn
be good
to
to
crawl.
go.
Here is your 2-foot square.
I still remember one of the first Texas
Why
Tiny.
does your kid crawl in a circle?
I still remember the Texas Tiny Trailer Rally where Simone, my daughter, she was probably like 4 or 5 months old. And I remember carrying her around in the carrier and going to different campsites to say hi to people. And the beans, like, I was like, she's so grumpy and I don't know what to do with her. And they were like, just stick her in the tag. And I literally just put my baby in these people's tag and then like shut the door and shut all the blinds. And she slept in there. And I was just like, yeah, my baby's in some stranger's tag. It's like a big old crib. They
Yeah.
can't go anywhere.
Living it up.
And they're so happy.
Yeah, but full time. Ooh.
Okay, well,
we'll keep
we
you
want to hear
posted.
all about it.
Yep.
And, you could like tour Texas on your way to the East Coast.
We would love to.
Yeah, come
And
see us.
Come
We
see
will.
our rally because I want to see how this is going. We need to camp next to you. I want to know what this is like.
Oh yeah.
I'm ready.
The dirty
Okay.
details.
I'm ready. Before we let you go,
Plug
will you
your
tell
stuff.
us how to find you? Because other people might want to know about how this works with newlyweds. They might have questions for you.
Yeah, absolutely. We
Yeah.
get a lot on our YouTube channel. We're always happy to answer and offer advice and the things that we've done along the way. So yeah, you can check us out on YouTube. You can actually just search my name, Andrew Chwalik, C-H-W.
Chwalik. Like, I could search
know.
Chwalik.
Say it real slow.
Yes, because if you find another Chwalik in the U.S., we are related to them because there are not many of us around. But yes, Andrew Chwalik, and it's C-H-W-A-L-I-K. And that's really where we publish all of our content, and you'll be able to dive in, have conversations with us, and hang out and learn along the way.
All right. We will put that in the show notes as well. So if you want to find them, you can go to our show notes at rvsmalltalk.com and we'll link to your page. One last question.
Sure.
I just wonder this off the top of my head. Why did you choose your name as your YouTube channel?
It's actually because when I was a kid, I had no idea what I was doing, and I just started a YouTube channel. It was by default my name, and it's
you
just carried over. It's just continued. Yep.
Just wondering.
Yep.
Very cool.
Thanks
for
Andrew.
chatting with us.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys. This is
so fun.
awesome. I loved it.
I have to drink some wine. You start.
Hey, Jen.
Hi, PJ.
Thanks for joining us here, Jen. It has been so fun to visit with you. We got to talk earlier, and I just had no idea about your background and who you were. So introduce yourself. Please let people know what you do.
Sure. My name's Jen Grover, and I am a Tab 320 owner. I'm on my second Tab 320. My first was a 2015 Tab 320 I bought back in 2014. I was brand new to camping, brand new to RVing, and it was just, it was really just something I wanted to do so I could be closer to the areas I wanted to photograph. My hobby is landscape photography, so I wanted to be closer. And Tab was a great gateway for that.
And has that worked?
It's been awesome. I not only am now a traveler in an RV, but I'm a camper as well, which I would not have been either prior to my first Tab.
How'd you find the Tab in the first place?
You know, I try to remember and think, how did I come across it? I was stumbling across doing searches for ultralight RVs, and I came across several different trailers, was looking at some pop-ups. I really didn't love the idea of a pop-up. And then I saw an ad or an article in a small trailer site about the Tab. And of course, it was that classic picture of a Tab being towed by a Mini Cooper, which we all know people don't really do in
I
America.
hate that picture.
Yeah, no kidding.
People come
we
into the
get
dealership
so
all the
many
time and
talks
they're
about
like,
that.
look what I can do. Nope.
Yes.
Not from us, you can't.
But I didn't have any illusions that I would be buying a Mini Cooper and towing, but I did see the trailer and thought, that is such a cool trailer. And I thought, well, I'll never be able to afford something like that, you know, and just sort of chucked it in the back of my mind. And a few years later, and at that time it was a little confusing because Dutchman had been making them and they were no longer being made.
Right.
And it was around the time nüCamp hadn't really started making them. So just put it in the back of my mind. And then a couple of years later, when I actually was in the market to make a purchase, I saw the Tab. And not only was nüCamp making them now, but they had bathrooms, and the bathroom was the selling point for me. I really just don't enjoy public bathrooms at all. So getting it.
Who does?
Yeah.
I enjoy public bathrooms.
But it's amazing the people who have a Tab with a bathroom and they still go use the bathhouse. I'm like, are you kidding me? I bought, a Tab with
Mandy
a
is
bathroom.
sitting right next
We're
to you.
about
You
to
better
talk to
be
one of
careful.
those. Yeah.
But she doesn't use it for different reasons, right? Yeah, she needs the
we'll
space.
We'll talk about that in a
Do not
second.
take up for
Right.
her. Okay.
We'll talk
How
about
are we
that in
going
a
to give
second.
her trouble
I love
about that?
the very tiny closet bathroom in my Tab. What can I say?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the first time I was just talking with somebody this morning, I said the first time I took a shower in a Walmart parking lot, I was like, this is a little weird. Here I am showering in a Walmart parking lot. Do people know I'm showering, when they're walking by? But you get past that and you just embrace
Now
it
it's
and
just
enjoy
freedom.
it. Yeah.
I'm showering in a Walmart parking lot.
Yes. And then I plug my hairdryer in my Goal Zero battery and I'm on my way,
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Where have you been in your Tab? Have you like covered the United States like Andrew did, or at least half of it?
Yeah, I'm not so much the like hit all the states or hit all the national parks. I tend to go back to some of the same locations because, as Mandy would probably tell you, when you do photography, you go back over and over so that you get the right conditions. So the leaves are right, you get snow on the peak, you get the right clouds. And even if I've got a great shot somewhere, it's never the same shot twice, right? Something's changed. The trees have grown, the foliage is different, the flowers are up, or you get different clouds in the sky. So I do tend to go back to the Rocky Mountain area quite a bit. I've been as far as Jasper National Park up in Canada, which from Pittsburgh is pretty far.
That is pretty far.
I try to squeeze it in my 3-week vacation time, and it's hard to get everywhere in 3 weeks. So I tend to do a lot of shorter stays and make the most of my vacation time. I spend an average of 40 hours driving on a 3-week vacation.
So, Jen, you don't have a 4-legged friend, correct?
I do.
You do? Okay.
Yes, I have a small Shih Tzu named Rocky.
Okay. Well, I didn't know. Maybe your nickname was Rocky. I don't know.
I like saying that. Shih Tzu.
Yes.
You just like saying
beep. You know, I actually had to look it up. Like, what's the right way to say it? I was doing a video for Mandy last year for the pets. And I was like, I don't know the proper pronunciation. And if I don't say it right, people are going to totally bust on me for saying it wrong. So I listened to it, and I found this very breathy woman pronouncing it. And she said, Shih Tzu. Like, I don't think I can pull that off.
No, you should
That's
definitely say that
but-
every single time. So, like, on a personal level, does it get, like, Andrew, just got married, Mandy and Kendrick are together. Does it ever get lonely? Like, do you feel like, I don't know, you just get bored by yourself and you have no one to bounce ideas off of, or as a content creator?
I don't know what it says about me, but no, I don't.
It doesn't say anything about you. Yes, it says you're amazing. I was just wondering.
I think I feel too busy. Like I just go. And so it's not like I'm sitting around thinking about the fact that there's nobody else there. And typically I'm encountering people, I'm meeting people all over the place. I met some really interesting people. I think because I'm alone, people are more willing to strike up a conversation with you. I watched a Penguins hockey championship game at a brewery in Colorado and had a really interesting conversation with another person who was there alone. So you really meet some really cool people when you're alone because they don't think, well, they're with their family or they're with their significant other.
Yeah, you're giving off that energy, like inviting energy. I think a lot of people are scared to go off by themselves because they don't have someone to do it with. So it's really cool to hear that someone's doing it by themselves and enjoying it, and it's freeing.
Yeah. I think I traveled alone for business, so I was already sort of used to that whole type of thing and got over going into a restaurant by myself years ago from that. So it wasn't really a big deal when I started traveling. I think it was weirder for my family than it ever was for me.
Yeah. What kind of questions do you get about traveling alone? Are people worried about it? Do you get a lot of people asking about that?
People are always like, do you feel safe? Yeah, I feel safe. I mean, there have been 1 or 2 times all my travels that I haven't felt safe. And once I had a man following me in Aspen, Colorado. I actually had a friend with me at that time. And I made some intentional turns that would be odd to see if he was actually following me or if it was just coincidental. And so finally I just stopped and I said to my friend and pointed right at him, I said, he's following us, and he took off, and that was it. But other than that, for the most part, I feel very safe. People, I think, if anything, with these campers, they tend to look out for you for some reason, even the big rigs, like you're like the novelty or
it's true. That's right.
Like the pet at the campground. It's like, everybody has some vested interest. Even though they really don't, they feel like they do. It's sort of a strange thing.
You are the funky little camper that everybody wants to just keep an eye on.
Yes.
See what's happening. Who's in that funky camper?
Yes.
Right? You kind of get that feeling from people at the campground.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because I do a lot of boondocking. So sometimes people, they don't even know what camper I'm with. Or with photography, I could be gone from well before sunrise till well after sunset.
Right.
And so they don't see me, and they'll wait to, like, they sort of stalk you, waiting for you to return to your camper so they can ask you about it.
Right. Isn't that interesting? I think it's so fun.
Yeah.
So what is next for you as far as your travels, your YouTube channel, your videos?
Yeah, so I have some Ohio camping planned for the rest of the summer. With my full-time job, I will work remotely for a week from a campground here and there. And then I had a trip planned to Canada, and I've just recently canceled it for the fall. So I'm sort of retooling my fall plans. I'm not sure what that's going to be yet.
I'm just going to convince every single
We have some suggestions.
You have some ideas for
We
me.
have some
to
ideas.
come to
That's right.
Texas.
And I have a friend who's buying a Tab, and she has previously owned a Tab and missed it. So she's buying another one, and she wants to
Awesome.
learn to boondock. So she might tag along with me. We'll see.
That'll be fun.
Yeah. So that could be fun. And we talked about shooting some videos, just what that's like for her, learning to boondock, because I think that's something I get a lot of questions about. Like, how did you have the courage? How did you know what to do? And so that could be really neat for people to have a chance to do that vicariously through her. So we might be doing that. But I might pick your brain on your ideas, because I thought, well, I could just go back and do the things I know in Colorado and Utah. That's always easy and doesn't require advanced planning for me. I, have a nice catalog up here in my brain, but I've been toying with some other ideas too. So,
Well, you can always pick our brain, but do you want good ideas?
well,
I mean, we always have
glass of wine
ideas.
for that.
But I don't know how useful they are. But
Yeah.
My idea is just come to Texas.
Yeah,
The
okay.
end.
There.
Awesome.
That's what Lindsay's got.
It's hot.
Yeah,
All right.
but is it 30-mile-an-hour winds like we're having today?
Sometimes.
All right. So excuse the echo. We are sitting in a little metal building.
Yeah.
In the campground.
I like it. We're sheltered from the wind, which
Yeah.
seems to have died down, by the way.
Good.
it's
Well,
still fairly. I still see a lot of dancing with the
Jen,
brain.
it's fine.
the weather is beautiful.
All right, Jen, before we move on, I want you to plug all your stuff. And again, we'll put it in the comments for anybody who wants to follow Jen and her adventures. But where do we find you?
Sure. I have a website, Jen, Jenn Grover, Grover, jengrover.com. And my YouTube channel is Jen Grover Photography.
Awesome.
That sounds great. I am so glad one more time we get to talk to Mandy and Kendrick. So,
Yay.
yeah.
We're taking
you're
over
just-
your podcast.
You're just like part of our family, So while we're talking to ambassadors, we can't leave you guys out. Of course, it's just so fun to hang out with everybody. But, it's interesting. At these events, we hardly see each other.
I know.
I mean,
it's
we
sad.
haven't sat together yet. This is
No.
it. This is our first time.
Yeah. So, hey,
very
how's
cool.
it going?
Hey, it's going great. I'm having a really fun time. How about you?
I think we're pretty exhausted.
What's uCamp like for you guys?
I feel like when people get married and they have a wedding and they just say like the whole thing's a blur because they talk to everybody, like it's like a week long just event, like blur.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. We're on day 5 and my voice is getting raspy because I've been talking nonstop for 5 days.
We have bags under our eyes, I think, just from late nights and early mornings.
It's a good thing this
I
is a
thought
podcast.
that was from like donuts and cinnamon rolls.
That
Could
too.
be.
That's probably what I would go for.
Could be the sugar high, the sugar crash.
The sugar crash. That's right.
Yeah.
By noon, it's all gone and we need more sugar. Well,
It's exhausting though in a super wonderful way.
yes, I agree. And like we talked about before, everybody here is so happy. It has been such a fun event.
Yeah.
But we've talked about the history of the other ambassadors. And, I don't think we've actually ever asked you, how did it happen that you became a nüCamp ambassador?
I would say, so I got my first tag in 2015 and, I just started living in it just like because it was a tool to take me the places I needed to go. And I had no idea it was going to be this whole community that I bought into. No idea.
Because you were a photographer.
And yeah, exactly.
Just like Jen,
And
you
so
wanted
it
to go
was-
out and take pictures.
Yeah, it was just going to be a tool to use to get out and go the places I wanted and camp and enjoy. Anyway, there were a number of hiccups that I hit along the way. Most of them have been publicized between, a stolen camper, a broken frame, and a lot of other things. And when these things happened, I was, and still am, just basically a nobody. I was just anybody else. They, as in nüCamp, had no idea who I was.
Right.
I had no influence at that point. And even on social media, I had no influence. And nüCamp, who was at the time Pleasant Valley, took such amazing care of me. Like, unbelievable. And people to this day, they go, oh, they just did that for you because you're Mandy Lea. And it's like, no, they had no idea who I was. And they drove from Ohio to Las Vegas to replace my frame, not knowing who I was. But all of those issues started a really amazing relationship with them. And over the last 6 years, they are family. The people there, they met me and treated me like family. And then when I brought Kendrick into the mix, there was zero questions. They just, oh, here's Kendrick now. And it was just like family. So it just grew.
We talked about getting married and living in a tab for 30 days. Then we talked about traveling by yourself. You guys have kind of done both. So you travel by yourself, and then all of a sudden, you and Kendrick travel together. So what was that like? Was that a transition? Was that like, I love traveling by myself.
Yes.
I think
there were
traveling
tears.
with someone else.
I just want you to, I remember, I'm going to embarrass Mandy, but I remember when she met you. Don't worry, don't shake your head. And I remember Mandy texting me and being like, oh my goodness, he's amazing. And he makes coffee every morning. And that was like, that's literally what she texted me. Like, this is so awesome. Check it out. He makes coffee for me.
Well,
That's so sweet.
I won't deny the being amazing thing.
Yeah, there you go. Just own it.
So, yeah, when we hit the road together, it really was not a big transition for me, and I don't think so for her either. She was in the tag for maybe like 6 months or so before we met, and then I had been in the back of my beat up old Toyota Tacoma for about 4.5 years before we met, and we were both used to small spaces, no bathrooms, and yeah, basically just simplicity. So when we hit the road, the biggest thing was combining her stuff and my stuff and making it our stuff, and doing all of that within the confines of a tag and a Jeep Cherokee with a roof box on it, and just kind of making that work. So that was a little bit of a challenge, but it's not like I think people envision it. It wasn't some huge ordeal about us downsizing and moving into this tiny thing, but when we're used to living in apartments, because both of us had already done that. And then, once we did that and we spent a couple months, I think maybe 2 or 3 months in the tag together, we upsized and we moved up to a 320, a tab 320. And
So were there questions about what goes in your 320 and what you leave behind?
Well, with the 320, it was, again, an upsize, an upgrade. We had more space, more storage. And the biggest thing was, okay, we have more space now. The natural tendency is to fill it with more stuff.
Always.
And not doing that. That's the difficult thing. Whenever you get a big space, just, keeping it simple.
And how did that work? Did you accomplish it over time, or did you fill it up?
I think part of what you're asking was actually the initial, when we first moved in together, like, how did we pick, what do we keep and what do we not keep between the two of us? And when we first got together, we went to, I think, my parents' house, and we literally emptied everything we owned. So we emptied his truck and my Jeep.
Did you cover the front lawn?
We did. Oh. We put everything out on the front lawn.
Because I have
joking.
to imagine there's a lot of doubles, right?
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of necessities.
That's what we did.
Did you have
initially.
2 toothbrushes?
No,
Well, we
I'm
still
not
have
talking
2
toothbrushes.
toothbrushes.
I'm talking like
I mean, yeah, we
tire
do.
irons.
We do each still have our own toothbrush.
Yeah.
But yeah, we did. So the first thing we did was we spread everything out on the lawn, and anything there was a double of, we picked one and got rid of the other. But then we each had things that were like just extra, you know, and I especially had a lot when I first hit the road. I thought I was going to have like time for hobbies, and that was a total joke. I have no time.
She also
Did you bring
had,
your embroidery?
But just
I
wait.
just want to say all the other ambassadors are literally just
Yeah.
laughing and nodding their heads
I mean,
right now.
so I had things with me. I thought I could feel like I had
Like what?
I had a mandolin because I was convinced I'm going to live on the road. I'm going to teach myself to play the mandolin. And I thought that would be awesome. No, I had no time for
but
that.
Mandy with a mandolin is just like a great.
I know, it's
hashtag.
awesome.
Yeah, you
right?
totally.
And
Yeah, don't give up
then
that
I
dream.
also
Okay,
had,
we're rooting for you.
I had a couple of like bows, like bow and arrows, like bows, because I thought I could, because that was a hobby growing. I used to like to shoot bows, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm totally gonna have time to do this. No, that just took up space. So anyway, there were things, and I was worried that by getting rid of those things, I was like getting rid of that hobby.
You were giving up
But
all your
it's
hobbies
not
to
the
live on the road.
But that is why when Kendrick and I first got together, and he was like, "Come on, Mandy, have you touched this in the last year?" And it's like, no.
those things actually survived the first cut.
So
And
he
they,
just-
they
They
went on the
did.
road with us for probably 6 months.
So you could see how much she didn't use them.
Exactly.
It's true.
He just gave you a reality check.
Yeah. So
it's
it was
fine.
there.
And they're still
none of
there
that
when you're
stuff-
ready. Yeah.
None of that stuff ever saw the light of day.
It's true. It's true.
And then the
Well,
next
that's because
time,
it was under 4 layers of other stuff. And
the
you
next
couldn't
time
get
we
to
did
it.
our purge, as we like to call it,
Yeah.
those things did not survive the cut.
The purge. that
but
just sounds
the
depressing.
Point I was trying. The point I was trying to make is that I cried at getting rid of things because I felt like getting rid of the thing meant I was getting rid of part of myself. But I really wasn't. If I want to go play a mandolin, I'll just go buy another mandolin when I have time to do it, which is not right now.
What an
You know what I
amazing
mean?
concept,
Yes.
right?
And so it
You
like,
could someday
that's
have
the
another mandolin.
That's the big picture point, is that it's okay to get rid of things that right now don't fit into what you do.
Yes. Yes.
She still has the mandolin. She doesn't have to buy a new one.
Okay, it's at my parents' house.
Okay. The truth.
I've never
The truth.
I still haven't played it.
She also had, I think, no less than 5 hammocks inside the Jeep whenever we met.
I can't get on board with that because hammocks are life. You need 5 hammocks.
5
And
hammocks.
I also
Okay.
had like another thing for Lindsay. I had like 100 pairs of sunglasses.
Yeah, you did.
Now
and
she
me
has
and you
40.
just bond over sunglasses. Like it's our thing.
Yeah, now I have
Okay,
what, 40?
I want to know, Kendrick, what did you give up that was hard for you?
The hardest thing for me to give up. So when I lived in my truck, I first started out, I had the entire surface area of my bed had a 4-inch memory foam mattress on it, and that's what I slept on. And then I eventually cut that down to where it only covered maybe about 40% of the bed, and everything else was gear storage. So I had everything I needed for running 100 miles in the mountains, backpacking for a week, climbing. I think I had my bicycle equipment in there as well. I had
Hashtag mountain man.
skis, ice climbing gear. I had all of this stuff.
How many
And
pairs of shoes?
I would say at minimum, I always had at least about 20 to 30 pairs of shoes, because that was when I was running a lot, and a pair of shoes might only last me a month.
Yeah, but then why do you keep it if it only lasts you a month?
Well, I don't keep it. I throw them away once they're done.
And then you buy another one and you have 30?
Yeah,
30?
Probably 20.
I have never
I'd
in
buy
my
shoes
life
on
had 20
sale.
pairs of shoes.
I'd buy
I live in
shoes
a
on
2-story
sale.
house and I own 4 pairs of shoes.
So that is not all just
And 3
running
of them
shoes.
are identical.
Though. That's
Hush.
climbing shoes, running shoes, road running shoes.
Yeah, I mean, you're
and then,
very active,
so
way more
just
active than me.
Flip flops included in that, sandals, Sanuk slipper thingies. So that was the thing I had the most of.
So downsizing your shoes, was that like emotionally hard for you?
No.
You didn't cry like Imelda?
Well, because he hasn't downsized them. We still have all 30 pairs in the
What? What?
No.
Could you guys hear that?
You go look in the
I
camper.
hope you could hear that.
You go look in that camper right
We just
now.
left some behind. We just left some behind like last week.
Let's do a podcast on
Shoes.
Kendrick's shoes.
So the biggest thing about shoes is obviously my feet are bigger than Mandy's. So she has more shoes in the camper and the truck at any given time, but mine take up more volume.
Which is all that matters. I think when you're living in a camper,
we
right?
share the volume of the space. We're down to the volume of our shoes. That's what we're
Listen,
talking about now in life.
I think that sharing a small space with somebody else is always going to be that, like, you're always going to have challenges. There's always going to be a give and take. And my God, you guys are doing amazing with it. You really are.
That's so sweet.
That was a compliment.
One compliment. That's all you get.
What?
That's all you get. No more.
I won't
Next
lie.
year, I'll give you another one.
Kendrick and I fight all the time. And we can sit here and we can bicker on this podcast about all the things we fight about. But then you look back and we've been doing it for 4.5 years now. And we're still here. Yes. So yeah, you're gonna fight, or you fight probably daily about something.
That's
But
not fighting.
we're still
That's
here.
like living in a small space with another person, or
But-
living in a big space with another person.
But do you go outside to fart?
No. Never.
Okay.
It took maybe 5 days for me to start peeing in front of him, which is like pretty unbelievable for a relationship.
Like
Literally 5 days.
peeing
No,
peeing
like
with the door
outside.
open, or like
We don't
peeing
have a
outside.
bathroom.
Okay, I'm sorry.
What door am I going to leave open?
They do have a bathroom. They don't use it. Let's say this again.
No, but we're outside.
Peeing outside. That's
We're-
what she is talking about.
I'm talking about
Like
peeing outside.
Walking over there and, you know.
Oh, I can't find a tree. Kendrick, I'm going to pee right here, okay? Yeah. And then it was a very, very, very short time. It was yo, Andrew, you can't do this yet. It was a very short time. Even bigger than just peeing outside in front of one another was Kendrick could always pee in a bottle when we're at the Walmart parking lot. And I couldn't until I got the little Go Girl funnel thingy. I used that to pee in a bottle. And the first time I peed in a bottle in front of him was like freedom. And I
those
taught
things
a girl
are
here-
amazing. They're amazing.
I taught a girl here at
you have
uCamp.
one? Yeah,
Like
you
the
do.
other day, I taught a girl here at uCamp to pee in a bottle. Or we were talking about it. I told her about it, how I do it, how and why and whatever. And then the next morning, she comes up to me and she's, Mandy, you'd be so proud of me. I peed in a bottle last night because I told her how. And she was so proud.
As weird as this sounds, anybody who has been on the road, like as a woman, it really is a sense of freedom. It
fair.
really, really is, because it rules our life when we have to pee and where we can pee. And
I feel like this could be its own podcast.
I mean,
but, you
we
know.
need to have a PP podcast.
So
There
the
you go.
thing.
We already had one on toilets. Now we have to have one on non-toilets.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
I think the tipping point there was she saw that I could just get up and go in a bottle, and that's the end of it. And it's a 2-minute ordeal, if that. She would have to get up, get dressed decent enough, and put clothes on to go into Walmart, which, I mean, to go into Walmart, you don't have to be dressed that decent.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Still.
Have you seen those
bathing suit, huh?
those videos that they put
And we're
up of
parked
people
at
in
the
Walmart?
end of the parking lot. She has to trudge all the way across it, go inside, do that. And that was back when Walmarts were actually open 24 hours a day. Now, pretty much every Walmart we've been at is not. They close at 11 or so. So during opening or closed hours, you have to find some place to go.
And
that
the
was-
parking lots are lit well. You can't just go in the parking lot.
Yeah. It is on the spotlight, right? The security guard would probably say something.
Okay, so now that we've talked about PP, anybody who does
Lindsay put her sunglasses on for this conversation. I just want everyone to know.
sunglasses time. Okay. Anybody who does not yet follow Mandy Lea and Kendrick, I'm not sure what you're doing with your lives, but also, where do people find you guys?
On all the things as Mandy Lea Photo, MandyLea. Thanks, parents. photo.
She loves you.
Like YouTube.
I know she does.
We do videos. We're Mandy Lea Photo on there. Facebook, Instagram, and newly TikTok, which is like a thing.
I mean, just embrace it.
But I'm trying.
Everything's a wave.
But yeah, we're there. So
All right.
we're on the things.
We'll link all of it in our show notes at rvsmalltalk.com.
You can also find Kendrick on Facebook.
Mine is just my full name, Kendrick Callaway, Kendrick, and then Callaway, Callaway,
Like the golf clubs.
like the golf clubs.
All right. It will all be linked in our show notes at rvsmalltalk.com. Ambassadors, I know it's been a great hour. Thank you for sticking with us.
And hopefully we'll get to see you again at uCamp.
Absolutely.
Or maybe before, right?
Texas.
Right?
Oh, we'll be there.
Texas.
That's
Woo.
right. It will be so fun. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. We'll do it again.
We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I mean, I don't know. Do I push the record thing again or the